it's Monday and I am Chaotic Eternity, and tonight I thought we could explore my visit to Edinburgh Manor in Scotch Grove, Iowa. Edinburgh Manor originally stood in what used to be Edinburgh, Iowa, which is no longer standing. So I'm just going to share some things, some pictures, some videos, and some of that. Give me just a moment to fix the lighting. It is a little dark. And you might hear Tigger. Tigger is my cat. She's always a guest star, and she likes to make herself known. She is sitting down here meowing already, so. There we go. Okay. Okay. Lives. I'm always unprepared for, you know, it is what it is. Look, I am uncut, unedited, just me, so. It's Chaotic Eternity. I mean, it's chaos, right? Are you gonna come up here and say hello? I think Tigger's gonna come up and say hello. Tigger is 16 years old. She is, what kind of cat are you? You're like a tiger striped tabby cat. Yeah, she can't let me stream without gracing us with her presence. So, and channeling is the worst because she's always up in my business. Yes, you can feel the energy when I do it, don't you? Yeah, come on. Come up here. Come say hello. Yeah. She just wants the attention. Okay. And she's got to have her kitty treats. So that is number one rule. So gotta have kitty treats. Kitty treats are a must. Yes. Okay. And she's knocking things over. So, Edinburgh Manor. I personally am not going to share a ton of history on it, especially if you are somebody who has not been there to investigate yourself. I don't know what kind of investigator you are. If you like to know the history, if you like to go in blind, it is, sorry, I'm trying to adjust the lights. Things don't like to work. But yes, so I'm just going to kind of go through and walk you guys through how the energy felt when I walked in, when I arrived on the property, and all that jazz. So let me pull up a picture. So I may be adjusting things on screen. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Why is this not showing up? Forgive me, I am figuring all this stuff out as we go, because, you know, nobody teaches me how to do this. Where is this? Where is this? And why is it not showing up? Okay, well apparently I can't open up this picture. Look, we're gonna figure this out together. Haha, add an image to the screen. Just gotta be smarter. Work smarter, not harder. Okay. Holy macaroni, that's huge. Okay. So, here we go. Okay. So, this was when I was just pulling into the drive for Edinburgh. So I didn't realize that Edinburgh Manor sat out in the country. Like, I guess I didn't really have any true expectations. I thought maybe like on the edge of a town, maybe. Because, you know, it said Scotch Grove, Iowa. I thought, okay, maybe it's in town. It's like on the edge of town, you know, like maybe an old part of a town. It's, I mean, it's farm, there's farm land around it. So, yeah. So ahead of my dash, you'll see like the drive. It's like a road that like curves in like a half moon shape in front of the manor. Very institutional looking in the front. I can show more pictures with that. It's your typical old building. There are other buildings on the back of the property. They have like a little house that investigators can sleep in that has like air conditioning and like restrooms and like a kitchen, which is really cool. So like you can take breaks and like cook food, and there's a refrigerator so you can put stuff in there, which is really amazing and accommodating for investigators and anybody who are visiting Edinburgh Manor. I had I brought like a small cooler of things, which was really nice. You can sleep in the building overnight. I brought a cot just in case I did want to sleep in the other building, but I ended up sleeping in the manor itself. They do have beds in there that you could sleep on. I ended up sleeping on my cot, but I think next time that I go to visit, I'm going to sleep in one of the beds in Edinburgh itself. But yeah, let me bring up another photo. So I was the first one to arrive on the grounds. I just kind of hung out in my car. It was really rainy outside. Iowa was really rainy driving through. I had like a 4.5 hour drive from where I was from. I'm getting there. Of course I clicked on the wrong thing. You guys will have to forgive me. I have such a fog. I channeled a lot of spirits yesterday for people. It is super cool. It has such great energy in this building. Not once did I feel anything bad in the building. The energy is really fun. You will get like definitely spirits of all ages because it was a poor farm. Way back in the day, I think from like the late 1800s to like the 1930s. The original building for that is no longer standing, but they have like the original foundation of the basement to that is built off of it, extended out for this building. And then it was like you'll have to do more research. I can't remember. I know they did sorts of medical care, and they do have a binder of information on the building when you go in. So this is just a section of the front of the building. So this is like the main entrance. When you do arrive, you don't use this entrance, you go through the back. So you'll see there's stairs to, when you look at the picture to the left, you'll see like it looks like there's a ramp. So if I was standing in front of the building in this picture, to the left side would be, I believe that was the women's ward. The right side would have been the men's ward. So it's a basement, a first floor, a second floor. The basement is pretty large. It's got their kitchen, the maintenance space for the maintenance man. They had like the padded room where they would lock like patients up if they were misbehaving wrong. They have like there's so many spaces on their storage. The boiler room, which is part of the old basement that belonged to the poor house or poor farm or whatever they called it, which has quite an interesting feeling of its own. Really cool place. Well, I was gonna see if I could pull up some information on it. I don't want to give too much history because I personally, as an investigator myself, I don't like to know a lot, but that's because also I'm a psychic medium and I pick up on stuff when I go into a place. So, yeah. So this is like the front of the building. Finally, when, so I got invited out by a team called Nightmare Explorers out of Minnesota. What a great team. I had fun with them. We had a bunch of other guests with us. Great people. When everybody started to arrive, we were hanging out on the first floor. As soon as we got inside and I brought all my stuff in, I could feel all of the energy of the place. I was immediately being drawn down the women's ward. It was, and upstairs. I wanted to go upstairs. And I was trying to ask Kat. She is one of the gals that helps run Edinburgh Manor. Opens it up, does a lot of tours. And I was like, so where does a lot of the energy hang out? And she's like, well, it's all over the building. And she goes, it depends. It changes all the time. I was like, okay, because I'm like, I'm being drawn down this way. And then we had this investigator walk in, and being a medium, it was like she had some guests with her, spiritual guests. It was like a force field of energy. She walked in, and it was like a huge shift happened, and she was talking to Kat, because she had investigated there multiple times before, and she had this strong energy with her, and I was just like, wow, I haven't encountered somebody that came with two really strong spirits with them before. And I kept doing this thing where I'd walk up to her to feel the energy, and then I'd walk backwards back to Matt of Nightmare Explorers, and he was watching me, and I was like, I'm just testing this energy, because I wasn't sure if it was her I was feeling or like something in the building came up to us. And I kept walking up, and I kept walking back, and I kept walking up, and I kept walking back. It was definitely some family members that she had that passed, because I heard ancestors. And then I finally asked her about it. I said, do you like practice like ancestor, like I don't know, do you do something with like ancestor magic, or do you do like something with ancestors? I heard ancestor or something. And then she told me she asked for a couple family members who have passed to be with her tonight. I'm like, oh, that explains the very strong protective presence around you the moment you stepped in the building. It was so wild for me. And I was like, that's why I kept walking up to you, and I kept backing up, and I was walking up to you, and I kept backing up. Yeah, so from there on, we waited. We got a couple more people that showed up. We started getting our things in place. The rain started up again because it was a stormy night, and with the rain and the thunder, I am a total believer that thunderstorms, electrical storms, really definitely stirs up energy. So that, I think, played a part in some of the energy in the building. But they knew we were there. But I don't think they really wanted to play with a lot of the toys after they found out that there was somebody that could hear them. So let me put up another picture here. So we did some more photos of the building. I'll just bring up some more. So this is another portion of the outer side by the front door. To kind of give you an idea. When we were outside taking these photos, we did hear tapping on, I don't know if it was the upstairs window or the downstairs first floor window. But all of us, we were all outside, every one of us, taking photographs of the building, pictures of all of us together. All right. It's kind of the end cap of that would be the men's, considered the men's ward of the building. Definitely stuff on that side of the building. There's definitely energy on the women's side of the building. They're just, it's all over this building. Just amazing energy overall. Here is a gaggle of everybody I was with. We're just kind of hanging out. We were just waiting for one of the other members. He was getting his camera set up so we could take pictures out front. So yeah, it was gloomy, it was rainy, it rained on and off. And then after photos, I decided to go across the highway, interstate, whatever you want to call it, and I went to check out the Edinburgh Cemetery, Edinburgh Pioneer Cemetery, which you can see by the sign that they had restored it back in 2004. There are headstones for a lot of children. There are adults. I would say like 1800s, 1900s. There's some late 1800s to some mid-ish 1900s. Definitely was some energy walking through the cemetery. A lot of people will say that you're not going to get anything when you go in a cemetery. When you investigate, you're not going to get anything in a cemetery. I didn't take any tools to the cemetery. I don't have to. I don't need to. I can hear. I can sense them. I just felt the lingering energy of these residents, the children here. And then somewhere, I don't know if it's off the Edinburgh property or somewhere near the cemetery here, but because it was a poor farm, there is, they say to be more like unmarked graves. I am currently being touched right now by one of my spirits. If you are not aware, I am a spirit keeper. I'm a psychic medium, and I do have a certain spirit that likes to touch me. She plays with my hair, particularly over the side of my ear. Oh, I touched it. Oh, no, she's doing it again. Okay. Oh, no, she's touching again. It's like a tickling. That's the best way I can describe it to you. Okay. I just heard, I love touching your hair. She says I have pretty hair. Well, thank you. I appreciate that so very much. Okay. Anyways. So let's move on. I always find cemeteries to be like a place so peaceful, so calming, so like a solemn place. You know, I could just go sit in a cemetery and be totally okay with just hanging out for a while. So, you may hear my cat. Tigger! Anyways, so you'll see by this headstone here, it says Edinburgh Cemetery, and it says when it was established, and all that. I cannot read it on the screen. Or it just says early 1800. Like I said, Edinburgh is a town that used to stand in Iowa. I don't know the logistics of it all and why it no longer exists, but now Edinburgh Manor was absorbed by Scotch Grove, Iowa. I'm sure those who are Iowa natives in that area can give you better background information on that and doing your research. Yes, ma'am, doing your research can tell you more. Definitely looking up the Edinburgh Manor website, Facebook page, and all that great stuff. Do your research if you want to do your research on Edinburgh Manor. I highly recommend it if that's something that you want to do before visiting. Otherwise, if you want to go in blind, go in blind. But yes, I loved investigating this location. I will be going back. And I can't beat a 4.5 hour drive from home, so let's see here. I've got more pictures from this tiny little cemetery. So you can see part of the little interstate there towards the end. I'm kind of off on the side of the road. This is when I was walking up to the cemetery itself. Yes, and you can see there's tiny little headstones. There's large ones. There's some that are broken and just sitting next to the base of the headstones. As you can see, they do still care for this cemetery, which I think is absolutely amazing and beautiful. That the respect is still be given to these people who are passed. That they are being remembered in some way, shape, or form. Yes. Okay. I think this might be my last cemetery picture. I'm inside the cemetery itself, taking pictures. Yeah, as you can see, there's tiny little pieces of headstones. There's large ones. Yeah, it was very solemn feeling in here. I could feel the energy in different places all over in this tiny little cemetery. And definitely when I got like a little past, there's like a little wooded section that goes past beyond the cemetery, so I'm kind of curious if there isn't more to it that they're just missing. But you never know. History is history. Sometimes it's hidden. Yeah. We like to hide stuff. Okay. So this is one of the rooms inside Edinburgh Manor. I believe this is on the women's side. It's a yellow room. This room had like 3 or 4 beds inside of it. This room definitely had some energy in it. They had, some of the rooms had like little armoires, some had like dressers, tables, some had like little, they were like craft rooms or like entertainment rooms. This room for sure had some energy. I didn't spend a ton of time in this room specifically. But I think the next time I go back, this room is going to be one I give attention to. It just depends on where the energy sits specifically in the building. I do have some more pictures of this room. You can see. But yeah, so it was like definitely to the left in that corner space, there was some sort of energy, something kind of lingering in that area. Something I tried. Okay, so I brought these really fun interactive decorations that I got from the Dollar Tree. They're Halloween decorations with little sensors on it. My spirits here will absolutely love them. They specifically love the ghosts. This is what it looks like. So I tried setting these up all over in Edinburgh. The only time any of these got interacted with was with the ghosts specifically, and it was in the children's room. But yeah, I would put a REM pod down. I wouldn't get anything with my REM pod. I had my music box, nothing with the music box. I don't know if it was because specifically they knew I could hear them or what. But they did like the EMF, the K2 for sure. I would get interaction with that. The one of the other investigators had her EPOC going. The cat balls for sure got some interaction. It was really a great time, honestly. Here's more on that room. But you can tell, you see that they've got beds, so if you sleep in the building, you're definitely got accommodations. It's no 5-star hotel, but it's definitely, it's got places you can sleep. And you never know, you might find a friend or two with you. I mean, I'm just saying, you never know. I don't know. I would like to say that they were pretty respectful to me, so maybe, I don't know. Unless you invite them to mess with you, I don't know. That's up to you. Whatever it is that you are into. So later in the evening, we were down in the basement. We were doing some stuff with like necrophonic and we had, I set up my music box and stuff. We were talking with the maintenance man. Was a very chatty guy. He was definitely, I would say, our #1 fan. He was like our tour guide the whole night. I definitely talked to him a lot because he knew I could hear him. So I got the laundry list of what needed to be done in the building, what's not being done, you know, how long he had worked there, and just the whole complaint. So this is the dishes, the washing sink and the kitchen area. Particularly why I have a picture of it is if you're gonna look closely here, you're gonna see that they have hung bells from the actual sprayer itself. Everybody is through a doorway in front of the sink, and the doorway leads into, like, I would say probably what would have been like the cafeteria area, and we were all sitting in there, and I just happened to notice that the sprayer itself was moving. Now, there's no windows open. There's no breeze at all whatsoever. I mean, they had an old ceiling fan going, but it wasn't enough for it to like create a wind to push that. And it was back in that old cafeteria room. Like, the air in there was like, it was still, it was stale unless we had a door open. And that would be on the first floor. We were in the basement. So, moving on, let me show you this in relation to the sink. Why does it look like that? Why? It's sideways. Is there a way to turn it? Okay. What we're gonna do here is why is it showing up like that? That is so bizarre. I cannot tell you why that looks like that, because that's not how the video looks on my computer. That is so freaking bizarre. That is bizarre. But yeah. Weird. I'm not even sure why it's uploaded like that. That is so strange. We're just gonna leave it because that's not how it's saved on my computer. But yeah, we'll just leave it just because I believe that weird stuff happens for a reason. So if you just pay attention to the video, you can see that the sink is, the little spout is, it's moving. So you'll see the lights because you'll have, there's other investigators that are taking pictures and video of it all, and wow, I can't believe this video is like sideways like this. I don't even know what to do about that. Well, you know what? We're uncut. We're, yeah. I don't even know. I'm not a techie like this, so I don't know. Here I am. But yeah, you can see it swing. But I'm sure lots of people are going to be like, oh, there's a wind, there's a breeze, somebody bumped the table. Nobody touched the table. Yeah, there's no wind. We're in the basement. Yeah. I don't know. There's bells on it. They put bells on it for a reason. So it must happen a lot. I don't know. But that's where debunking comes in. Yeah. Oh, thoughts, comments, whatever. I just thought it was an interesting thing because everybody had walked through. We didn't really touch anything when we walked by. I just happened to turn around and notice it was moving, and it was moving ever so slightly. I just feel like if somebody would have bumped it, it would have really been rocking back and forth, but I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts. But yeah, I'm all for testing and debunking and, you know, all that good stuff. All right. Alrighty. So while we were in the basement, we were running Necrophonic. We got a lot of really good chatter coming through. They were talking to us. Yes, it wasn't me personally running Necrophonic. It was another investigator. And it was in airplane mode. I know a lot of people have their feelings about running apps. Everybody has their preference. They kept saying a specific investigator's name over and over again. The woman Jessie, the one that came in with her family members who were passed with her, they came through. It was pretty awesome. We had a debate about breakfast foods with them on Necrophonic. We had some really fun conversation. I have nothing but the best to say about Edinburgh. So I did sleep in the building, like I said. So I know I got another video. I wonder if it's gonna load the weird like that one did. Oh, I just took a video of another room. Okay, okay, we're gonna cancel that. I thought I had another video. Maybe not. That might be everything I have for you guys. Why is it uploading the image? That's weird. I don't even know. Okay, yeah, so I slept in Edinburgh overnight. And I slept on the first floor. I kindly asked them to let me rest, please. I probably got to sleep about 2:30-ish in the morning. We had to be out by 10 because there was another group coming in. I woke up at 6:30 in the morning. I think I had, yeah, it was 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, 6:30 in the morning. I had to use the bathroom, but I know when I woke up, I heard spirits, all their spirits say, "She's awake," and it was with excitement because they know I could hear them, because I'm clairaudient. So I'm a psychic medium, so I'm clairaudient. I have all the clairs. The clairvoyance is probably my weakest. I can't really see them. That is something I will be working on. But I was like, guys, I have to use the restroom. I'm just gonna get up and go out and go to the bathroom. I'll be back. I'm gonna sleep for a little bit. You guys can't come in here. You can't bother me until I'm awake. So I came back in. I laid back down. I went back to sleep. And then I think I woke up at 9:30 because I heard another investigator. She was in the room to my right. I heard her get up. I heard her packing up and leaving. So then I decided it was a great time for me to get up. I took my noise canceling earplugs out and I said, "Okay guys, I am awake. You are free to come in here." And as soon as I said that, I heard knock, 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 knock on the, like, behind me on the wall near the window. I said, okay. We're already getting active. It was really weird. I know the night, like right before I had woke up to go to the bathroom and I went to sleep, I did sleep. So I always dream about places or people that I have channeled. I was a little, like, far down on my cot. I dreamt that one of the spirits, like, I literally dreamt about that room. And I dreamt that one of the spirits, I don't know if you ever worked in healthcare as a CNA or nurse and never had to pull somebody up in bed by yourself, and you, like, you put your arms underneath somebody's arms, but you don't quite go underneath the armpits, but you, like, grab tight and you, like, pull them up. I dreamt I got pulled up in my bed. Like, not to pull me out of the bed, but to pull me up so I wasn't, like, hanging off the end of my bed. I woke up for that before, like shortly after I had gone to sleep, and I decided I was just gonna close my eyes and go back to sleep because that was really weird. Yeah, I have weird stuff like that all the time. If I channel for certain people, especially people that I am close to, I will dream about them after channeling for them or doing any sort of spirit work with them. I don't know what it is, but I'll let you guys know when I go out to Farrar. If it happens again. I know we don't sleep out there, but we'll see what kind of weird dreams and stuff happens after I go visit there. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. This was just kind of my short little what it was like when I explored there. I had fun. I didn't have a lot of interaction with my equipment other than my EMF reader. I was able to find the maintenance man every time when he was escorting us or following us. He did follow us literally everywhere in the building, from the basement to the first floor to the second floor. He was very into what we were doing. Very kind spirit. We got a tiny bit of REM, a lot of epoch interaction, some dead bell interaction. Definitely a little necrophonic interaction, some cat ball interaction, just a little bit of everything. But they weren't too huge into the equipment, too much, not too much. Yeah. I loved it. And if you haven't been, I 100% recommend. Yeah. And it's a beautiful place. It's out in the country. And they have great accommodations for you guys. So if you haven't check it out. Checked out Edinburgh Manor in Scotch Grove, Iowa. Check them out. Please, please, please.